Hi everyone, it's Lavinia and welcome to today's video where I'm going to be sharing with you how I made this card. It's a Z-fold card which will stand up. So I just have here stamped "It's your birthday," a piece of ephemera, and then some additional stamps here inside. And this is some cardstock that I've actually had for many years. I think it was the very first paper pad that I had bought, and it is double-sided. So I already cut down what I needed. So I have my tray here with items, and I'll go over what items I have. So this piece of cardstock is trimmed down 12 by 4, and then we're going to go ahead and score that. And then I have for this inside piece here, this is 4 by 3 1/4. And then I used 2 dies from my square die set that I just recently bought. This is from Recollections. And let's see, the larger one is 2 1/2. So 2 1/2 square, and then the smaller one is 2 1/4, and that's what I use to cut down these 2 pieces here. And I think for this top piece here, I'm going to use this piece of ephemera that I got from that, I think it's called Coquette. I have some Sharpies here that I'm going to use to color the inside of the stamp. So I have 2 for the leaves and 2 for the flowers. And I also have my stamping platform. I picked out the 2 stamps that I want to use for both the inside and the outside, and it's from this stamp set. So one says "Hello dear friend," and then the other one is "May your day be filled with song." So I'm going to use those 2 stamps. And then I've got my glue, my ink pad, and then just a piece of cardboard here just to when I use the glue, just so that it doesn't go onto the table. So let's go ahead and get started. Oh, and then as far as for the flower on the inside, I think I'm going to use this one here that has the leaves. So we'll see how it turns out. So the first thing I'm going to do, this is my We Are Memory Keepers all-in-one tool. And so I have this set up the scoring line. So what I'm going to do is score this. And if you hear my wind chimes, I hope you enjoy that. But let's see, I'm going to score at 2 1/4 right here. And then if you have a long base that doesn't have this space, you can probably then score at 6 3/4, which would be over here. I'm just going to put like a little line, but I'm going to have to flip it through or flip it over. Let me just get my pencil. So I set it 6 3/4. So I'm just going to put a little line there. But I'm going to go ahead and flip this over. Okay, and so if I put this here, so it looks like that would be at 5 1/4. Just gonna make sure I get that. Okay, so I have those. So again, either at 2 1/4 and 6 3/4 if your scoring board, you're able to score that long. Otherwise at 2 1/4 and 5 1/4. So I'm going to get rid of this for now. And then depending how you want your card, so if you want it to be this way, which is how I had this one here, you would leave that larger piece here at the right and then the smaller piece folded here. Or if you wanted it, depending what paper you have, I could also go ahead and do it this way. but I think I'm going to go ahead and have it go back this way. So just going to go ahead and crease that. Okay, and I'm just going to get that piece of cardboard. And then this piece here is just the inside mat, which is actually, or I should say the outside, this piece here. So this measures 4 by 3 1/4. So this is going to be the base of the card here. So I'm just going to go ahead and glue that down. I think I might use my Fabri-Tac for this. And I'm just going to go ahead and see about having the same amount of space, both on both sides as well as top and bottom. It's kind of hard to see. Okay, so there's that. So there is the foundation, I guess you could say, of the card. And now I'm going to go ahead and stamp. So I'm going to take out my platform here that I use. And so this is going to be the inside portion of the card. So this is going to be this way here. So I'm just going to place this like that. And then I think on the inside, so my 2 sentiments were going to be hello dear friend and may your day be filled with songs. I think I'm going to put the may your day be filled with song on the inside. And I think I'm just gonna make sure that that is checking on the lines here. So I'm just going to press down to get that. Oops. And then I have my ink pad here. Just line that up and then just press. And I know that this ink pad also I've had for quite some time, so it's probably starting to dry out. But the nice thing about this press is that that stays where it's at, and I can always re-ink and come back. Just go on and let that soak in. Okay, so there's that. And then I think while I'm still here at this, I'm going to go ahead and place the flowers that I want to use. Which is this one here. And I think I do want to put this in this corner. maybe over here. And let me get a piece of scrap. Just to place underneath. Just so that if it goes off the card, that's fine. Oops. Get my ink pad once more. Oops, wrong way. Just gonna press there. Okay, so that's there. Maybe I will put maybe just a portion of the flower here as well. I think this is just a fun card to have, and it's really easy to make. I'm new at card making, so if I can do it, anyone can do it. And I also want to try making some Christmas cards using this technique as well. Okay, so there we go with that. And this is what the piece looks like. I think that turned out really pretty. I'll let that dry a little bit maybe, and then just come back to it and color that in using the Sharpies. And I think what I'm going to do, I'm still going to use this because I'm going to go ahead and stamp the small piece here. And my sentiment. Hello, dear friend. So this will fit nicely on here. So again, just going to go ahead and line that up. And I'm also putting this towards the bottom because then that piece will be, I don't know where the card went. Right here. Because then we'll have that larger piece of ephemera up here. Just gonna make sure that's centered. I have to say I'm really having fun making cards. I have to show you something that my husband found at one of these markets for $1. Oops, sorry, I was out of frame there, but there's that hello friend. And what I'm going to do now is glue this down to the mat. A piece of cardboard. think I'm just going to go ahead and use some white glue. And then just center that again. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just let that dry off a little bit. And I'm going to come back. I think I'm going to go ahead and start coloring in this. So let me go ahead and put this here. So I have a couple of different greens, and I was using this as a test. Some different greens. I liked this one and this one, and then these two pinks. So let's start with the light green, I think, first. And I'm actually going to color in the entire leaf with the light green, and then I can just add a little bit of shading with the darker green. I found when I use the alcohol inks, this actual black ink, even though it says archival and waterproof, it was actually starting to bleed a little bit, but I also didn't leave it to dry. So that's why I had wanted to leave this to dry, but I don't know if there is a difference, like maybe with the Sharpies versus the alcohol markers. But this seems to be working well. Okay, so those greens there, and then I'm just going to go over a little bit with this darker green, maybe where the lines are. Just to give it a little bit of shading. So just like that. I think that's a really pretty stamp too. All right, and now for the pinks. I'm gonna go in here. This is probably where I should slow down and enjoy the wind chimes. And I like that the stamp or the black ink is not bleeding. I think I bought these Sharpies at Hobby Lobby a few years ago, so I'm glad I'm getting to use them. Sometimes I buy items for a particular purpose and then they just sit there, so I'm trying to use all my supplies. All right, so there's that, and now I'm just going to come in with this darker color just for these areas here. I like that these have a point, So even though they're a little bit thicker, I can still get into these thinner, tinier little areas here. Okay. All right, so there we go. I think that came out really pretty, and it really goes well with the colors of the card. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to glue this inside the card. Look how pretty that looks, actually. I like that. Okay. So this piece of cardboard is just from layers between my cat food cans that I have for my cats. Okay, so I have this. Just going to go ahead and center that. Well, not necessarily center, but I just want to make sure that I have enough space here from this score line, as well as the top and the bottom. I'm going to press down. Sorry if I went off frame. Okay. So then when this closes, it does cover that, as you can see. So I thought that's really pretty. So now I'm going to go ahead and start putting the mat here. And what I'm going to do is just glue half of it to this piece here. And then my piece of ephemera, I think I'm going to put right here, but I'm going to use some double-sided tape, and that goes really well too. And I think that's part of the reason why I didn't want to use this piece of cardstock, you know, flipped the other way, because I think it would probably just get lost a little bit. But like this, I think it will stand out. So I want to see about centering that. So let's go ahead and put that down first. And again, not gluing the whole thing, so Lavinia, let's pay attention. So it'll probably just be, and I could probably use double-sided tape as well, but let's see, it looks like it would be here. I think that's perfect. Just going to hold it down. Okay. And then this will go here. So let me go ahead and get my foam tape. So I said double-sided tape, but it's actually double-sided foam tape because I do want that to stand up. So let's see, do I want to, no, I think like this will be fine, just like that. Okay. Give me scissors. Okay. Just going to go ahead and peel that off. And we are almost done. I do want a little bit of the green to show. Okay. All right, so here we go. So here's the card. Hello, dear friend. May your day be filled with song. Really like these colors. And then again, this was the other one. I think I did use, well, this was not stamped. This was a piece of ephemera. And I think I did use probably alcohol markers on this one. But you can see, even though it's the same paper pad, the design, depending where it is different. But really like this card. And they will stand up, just so that you see that. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you try it out. Really easy Z-fold card. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Take care. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.